जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यामुनतीरावनचारि जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यामुनतीरावनचारि जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद। हरे नाम संकीर्तन महायज्ञ की जय। जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। अष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतिरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतः पदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Okay. So we're going to start with chapter 7, titled Son of Drona Punished. Let me share. Okay. Shaunaka Nirgate Narade Suta Bhagavan Badarayanaha Shrutavamstad Abhipretam Tatak Kim Akarod Vibhuhu. Rishi Shaunaka asked, O Suta, the great and transcendently powerful Vyasadeva heard everything from Sri Narada Muni. So after Narada's departure, what did Vyasadeva do? So pretty straightforward. Sutavacha Brahmanadyam Saraswatyam Ashrama Paschime Tate Shamya Prasa iti Prokta Rishinam Satravardhanaha. Sri Suta said, on the western bank of the river Saraswati, which is intimately related with the Vedas, there is a cottage for meditation at Shamya Prasa, which enlivens the transcendental activities of the sages. So one important statement in the purport Prabhupada is saying, for spiritual advancement of knowledge, a suitable place and atmosphere are definitely required. And then he's described about Shamya Prasa, and he's also said ashrama, the importance of this word ashrama. And because Vedavyasa was married, he was a householder, but still his residential place is called ashrama. Because ashrama is where spiritual culture is always foremost. So there are two types of householders, Grihastha and Grihamedhi. Grihastha stays in Grihastha ashrama. So the house is an ashrama, which means spiritual culture is the focus. And Grihamedhi is the normal, typical householder whose focus is sense gratification. So the house has to become an ashrama. Then that is what is recommended for practicing grihasthas. So place has to be suitable. Suitable means that, it doesn't have to be extravagant. It just has to be conducive for practice of bhakti. So if it is too, atmosphere is too noisy, too loud, too congested, too big, all of these can become and disadvantages. So just suitable atmosphere is required. That each and every person then differs from person to person, but suitable atmosphere is required. Tasmin swa ashrame vyaso badari shandamandite asinopa upasprushya pranidadhyo manaswayam. In that place, Sri Vyasadeva, in his own ashrama, which was surrounded by berry trees, sat down to meditate after touching water for purification. Bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranihite male apashyat purusham purnam mayam cha tad apashrayam. Thus he fixed his mind, and thus meaning he sat to do meditation. In his meditation, he fixed his mind, perfectly engaging it by linking it in devotional service without any tinge of materialism, meaning pure devotional service. So he engaged his mind in pure devotional service, in mananam, dhyana. And thus he saw the absolute personality of Godhead, along with his external energy, mayam, external energy, which was under full control, apashrayam, under full control. Okay, so this is a very important verse. Purport. So here, Prabhupada is mentioning one thing, saying that in the Upanishad it says, Hiranmayena patrena satyasyapi hitam mukam tattvam pusham napavruno satya dharmaya drishte. So Upanishad saying that, Lord, we cannot see you because there's a glowing effulgence, which is the Lord's Brahma Jyoti, which prevents us from seeing the form of the Lord. But here, Vyasadeva, because he was a devotee, he was not people who are impersonalists, who want to merge into Brahman. They are dazzled by this, the glow and by the effulgence of the Brahma Jyoti, and they just happy getting stuck there in the Brahma Jyoti. But devotee knows, saying that, the Brahma Jyoti is not his goal. So here Vyasadeva, though the Lord was covered by the impersonal Brahman, but the cover was removed by the mercy of the Lord, and he could actually see the absolute personality of God. He could see Krishna in person. And there is also mention about this Maya. So there are two types of Maya, Yogamaya and Mahamaya. So Yogamaya is his internal energy, and Mahamaya is his external energy. So this we will discuss in more detail in the 10th canto. But just to summarize, the external energy has no jurisdiction over devotees. And the internal energy works on devotees, and both the energies create illusion for devotees. The Mahamaya creates illusion for non-devotees in making them think that they are the enjoyers and to forget Krishna. So that illusion she creates. Yogamaya creates illusion for devotees where they forget that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. So both are bewildering. One bewilders non-devotees, the other bewilders devotees. Now here Prabhupada is writing, the internal energy is there along with the absolute person as the moonlight is there with the moon. Meaning it's just there. It's there. When there's moon, there's moonlight. When there's absolute person, then there is his internal energy. The external energy is compared to darkness. Internal energy is compared to the light. External energy is compared to the darkness, because it keeps the living entities in the darkness of ignorance. It keeps the living entities in the darkness of ignorance. The word apashrayam suggests that this energy is under full control. It's under full control. In one sense, we can say internal energy somewhat controls Krishna, because internal energy is Leela Shakti. Leela Shakti in many cases controls Krishna only, because Leela Shakti is also devotional service, devotees. It will come in later here. But the external energy is completely under the Lord's control. The internal energy or the spiritual energy is also called Maya, but it is spiritual Maya, Yoga Maya, or energy exhibited in the absolute realm, not in the material realm. When one is under the shelter of this internal energy, the darkness of material ignorance is at once dissipated. Krishna Surya Sama, Maya Andakar, Jahan Krishna Tahar Nahi, Maya Radhikar. So Krishna, internal energy is always with Krishna. Krishna means light. Darkness of ignorance is at once dissipated. So whenever we experience material, darkness of material existence, which is ignorance. When we experience ignorance in our life, which could be kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, all of these are ignorance, right? We should just take shelter of the internal energy. Then the darkness of material ignorance is at once dissipated. And even those who are Atma Rama are fixed in trance, take shelter of this Maya or internal energy. This we will talk about in the future verse. Devotional service or bhakti yoga is the function of the internal energy. Thus, there is no place for the internal energy or inferior energy or material energy. Just as there is no place for darkness in the effulgence of spiritual light. So actually, if you are engaged in bhakti yoga, then the external energy cannot influence us, cannot exercise its influence on us. But our problem with our practice of bhakti yoga is it is not ahaituki apratihata. It is broken. We engage in bhakti only for few hours of our day. So the rest of the day, we are not in touch with Krishna. So automatically we get captured by Maya. But if you are continuously in touch with Krishna, in touch with the internal energy of Krishna, then there is no question of Maya, impact of Maya on us. So here Prabhupada says such internal energy is even superior to the spiritual bliss attainable in the conception of impersonal Brahman. So it is even superior to that internal energy. So there is some technical things to understand. Yaya sammohito jiva atmanam triguణాత్మకం paropi manutennartham tat kritam chavipadyate. Due to this external energy, the living entity, although transcendental to the three modes of material nature, thinks of himself as a material product and thus undergoes the reactions of material miseries. So I'm reading this again, extremely important verse. Due to this external energy, the living entity, who is marginal energy, although transcendental, the Jiva Atma is transcendental to the three modes. But due to the influence of external energy, Jiva thinks of himself as a material product. Meaning Jiva thinks that he is produced by material nature and thus undergoes the reactions of material miseries. So the reason we are experiencing material miseries is because we are thinking that we are a product of this material nature. That means that we are thinking we are the body. So we are thinking we are the body, and hence only we are experiencing suffering. Suffering is coming to the body, to the mind, not to the Atma, because Atma is transcendental to material modes, and suffering is something which exists only within the material realm. Material suffering. Right, and because we are transcendental, we cannot be affected by this material, by material miseries, because material miseries are limited or they have their influence only over material objects, which are basically subtle body and gross body, but not on the Jiva, not on the Atma. And this is because of the influence of external energy. Now, question needs to be asked, then why is external energy making this happen? Why is the external energy making the jiva think of himself as a material product? Anybody can answer? Why is the external energy doing this? Because this illusion is due to the external energy. Why is this being done?
This is because we desired it, like for past so many lives, we have been conditioned to be with the material energy. We have different desires for sense gratification. So our free will is acting in that way.
No, no. The question here is, so there are two energies, right? So there's an internal energy, there's an external energy. These energies have influence on the jiva. External energy's influence on the jiva is to make him think that he is a material product. So my question is, why is external energy doing this? Doesn't it look unfair? Why is the external energy making the jiva think himself as a material product?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hmm.
Actually, external energy or material energy by itself doesn't have any this thing. It is jada. But when living entities interact with the three gunas, so obviously we are bewildered by that.
No. I mean, see, external energy is jada in the sense the products of external energy are jada. External energy is not jada. External energy is active and it is doing things.
Actually, Prabhuji, it needs a living entity, na Prabhuji, actually, to be active.
No, as living entity to be active, as in that is this material realm. We're talking about material elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether. These are all material elements. Yes, they are dead, right? But the material energy is Krishna's energy. How can external energy be dead? External energy is Krishna's energy. So external energy is not dead. The products that external energy is creating are dead. You understand? External energy by itself is not dead. External energy is active. She is doing stuff. Durga Devi. External energy is Durga Devi.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. To filter devotees, Prabhu.
Filter.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Okay. Any other thoughts?
This is an agency to teach us the lesson the hard way. Because
No, but क्यों? Unfair. ऐसे ही पकड़ के मार रही है.
No, like our mother also chastises us. So those
Yeah,
people,
but there should be a reason, no? Like mother will not whack you just like that, no?
yeah, the reason is that we are not doing the things as per her, right? That's why
Hey,
she
come
does.
on, like sharp answers. Why is
Yes,
external energy doing this? Because we want it. What do we want? We came away from the Lord saying that I want to enjoy independent of you. Now that environment is available only in the material world. And if we remember saying that I am Krishna's servant, then how can I enjoy? So she has to cover our understanding. She has to cover our constitutional position. So that means she covers our constitutional position of being servant of Krishna. So as that identification is covered, but we still need some identity. So then we see here and there and say, okay, material product. So the real identity is covered and a false identity is taken as real. That is why it is called mithya ahankara. So the external energy is not doing this, just like she doesn't like it. Further we will read. It's a thankless job for external energy. she doesn't like doing this service. But she has to do, because those who want to come here and enjoy independent of Krishna, they have to be created a suitable atmosphere where they are going to forget their eternal relationship with Krishna. And that agency is external energy. She will mask that. So she's not doing it out of some vengeance, because we wanted it. So she is just an agency. She is the energy of the Lord who will cover our original identity. And when the original identity is covered, then but we still need to have an identity, and then we identify ourselves with the material body, material world. So the whole process of bhakti is to uncover ourselves, right? To remind us that actually, see, this is our real identity. And once the real identity starts, once we engage in activities that is going to revive the real identity, external energies, takes off her hold on us. She keeps on, her hold on us keeps on reducing.
So the question can be raised that if that happens, so yeah, so governing part is understood, but then why do we feel suffering? That's also a problem.
Why do we feel suffering? So the first part is
Because
clear, no?
yeah, first part is clear
First
that
part is
we
clear.
want to forget ourselves.
Yeah,
But
we
then
want to forget our real identity, so she is just covering us.
yeah, but then when we feel frustrated, that is something which we don't want, but still it happens.
That is the revival process. That is the punishment process, like you said, mother punishes, right? That punishment process is the only way that will revive us.
Yeah, but the whole purpose of the Jivatma is not fulfilled yet, right?
It
So
is,
basically,
no.
when we
No, it is. Actually, see, this is why we have to understand Lord's creation. The Lord has not created anything which is not relevant or which is not required. And what is the goal of this? Um, this is a place for us to, what is that word called?
Reform.
Reform. When somebody goes into an asylum, what is that called?
rehabilitation.
Rehabilitation, right? Like reformation, rehabilitation. Can you please mute? Somebody is unable to. Okay. So reformation, rehabilitation, whatever that is, right? So see, we are here because we have done something wrong. So now we have to be told that we have done something wrong. Now, for which Lord has given scriptures, and we are supposed to read the scriptures, and we're supposed to understand, saying that okay, I've done something wrong. This is not my real position. I need to go back, restart my service to Krishna. That is for those who are intelligent enough, who just hear from the right sources and revive their original position. Now, for those who don't, how do we remind them? There are two ways to remind them. Vedas are actually Veda is the way to remind them. Veda has two parts, as in Veda has karma, vikarma, or Veda has pravritti marg and nivritti marg. So Vedas also give guidance for way of life. So those who follow the Vedas, they will take the easier path to revive themselves, which is follow varnashrama dharma, samsiddhim haritoshanam. The goal of varnashrama dharma is to please Vishnu. So gradually they will come to the process of bhakti by a very positive process or a less painful process. But those who are really stubborn, who don't want to hear anything that Lord has said in Vedas, etc., or who want to just do things whimsically, the only way is to punish them. And when there is punishment, then obviously a person will go seeking shelter. That shelter, if it happens to be anything in the realm of Vedas, is favorable, is good for the jiva. Anything in the realm of Vedas means he could go to a demigod, which is perfectly fine. He could come to Vishnu. He could go to a devotee. So all of these are perfectly going to help that jiva to recover from his position. But even if after being punished, he goes take shelter of Asurik, forces, then he's going to go down further. His punishment level is going to increase because current level of punishment is not helping him. So then he goes into more difficult suffering with the hope that, I mean, who are these people? It's like their tolerance levels for pain is very high. They don't really care and they're brainless, right? So they keep doing mistakes again and again and again. So they have to be really given shock to wake them up. So very severe form of punishment even to wake them up, right? Eventually it'll be hell, and after that hoping that they will revive. So this whole punishment, different degrees of punishment is given with the only aim is that sometime this person will stop doing nonsense and will come to his senses and question saying that why am I suffering? Right? So that is for really punishment is for the misbehaving jivas. For the jivas who are good, there's the varnashrama path, and then there's the bhakti path for really those who have made tremendous progress, right, on this path. Now we should understand one part here before there are a lot of aspects here, so we will go into a lot more discussion here. So before, right, getting into details, one thing we should understand why we are experiencing material misery. It's just because we are thinking that I am this material body, I am experiencing the misery. So this also I've explained in our Bhagavad Gita classes. Can somebody try to explain what this concept is of why I am experiencing material misery?
The tendency to lord over the material nature.
No, I'm asking a very like nut and bolt question, saying that why am I actually experiencing misery? I am Atma. Atma is transcendental to material pain. Correct? There's no pain for the Atma. Does everybody understand, accept this? There's nothing like material pain for the Atma. Because material pain is material and Atma is spiritual. So material something cannot influence a spiritual object. So Atma doesn't have material pain. The material pain is limited to the material body. But still the Atma is suffering. Why?
Karma phala, Prabhu.
The Atma is suffering because it is thinking that it is the body. The Atma is thinking that I am the material body. So whatever is happening to the material body, it is thinking it's happening to me. And it's suffering. So it is this illusion of I am this body that is the cause for our suffering. And I gave this example yesterday in our Kannada class also. So once, His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj, he had an ingrown nail. Ingrown nail means that when the nail grows inside the skin. And Maharaj was saying in a class saying that it's, if anybody has had it, you will know what it is, but it's extremely painful. Right? And he was in Delhi at that time, and he went to a government hospital. Goes to a government hospital, and then for whatever reason, the doctor there says, we don't have local anesthesia. Local anesthesia is used, so that pain is so severe that, it can help you bear the pain when it is plucked out. He said, there's no local anesthesia. Either you can get it done without it or you can come back later. But because there was so much of pain and it was just increasing. Maharaj said, okay, I thought like, let me get it removed, better. Some lot of pain will happen for some time, then there'll be relief. Then he said like, so I then thought about this, saying that I'm not this body, I'm spirit soul. So this pain is actually not happening to me. So can I meditate on this thought process? that I'm this, not this body, I'm spirit soul. And understand this pain is actually happening to the body. Mm. And then he said, he went into that consciousness and somehow he didn't feel as much pain as he thought he would experience. Meaning this is an attachment that we have developed, because of which this pain, even though actually sometimes there is no pain or very less pain, but it looks like big, right? Because we keep blowing it more and more beyond what it actually is. For example, all our lives, all of us have our own set of problems. So is it a problem or is it not a problem? It's a problem till we think that it's a problem. Till the time we think that something is a problem, that remains a problem. For example, right, like suppose I have a headache, but I have to give class. Now, if I'm thinking about my headache and thinking, oh my God, I have a headache, how will I speak? And I'm just going deeper into my pain, then I will not be able to come out of it because I'm thinking that it is a problem, right? But the moment, okay, Zoom connected, people join, time to start the class. What to do? Just get into the class. Do Jai Radha Madhava, start reading. And then suddenly you'll realize that after some time, your pain doesn't exist, or you don't seem to be realizing that that pain exists. And when your mind is off whatever you're doing, and then you end up the class or whatever, then you suddenly, oh my God, so much of pain. How did I manage to just give class? This is what it is. So the pain is actually not felt unless we pay attention to it. And our ability to not get absorbed in the material misery depends on how mature we are, how much progress we have done in spiritual life. So we should understand this body is dead. And the body is not having any pain because body is anyway dead. Atma is anyway spiritual. Atma also doesn't have pain. So then where is the pain? Is this clear question? Body is dead. Chemicals. Body cannot experience pain. Atma is spiritual. Atma cannot experience pain. But still then there is pain, feeling of pain. Why? Because of this illusory connection that we have, thinking that I am material product. So it is like another way of understanding this is like, suppose say there's somebody at home who's unwell, who's suffering. Say there's a child, high fever and suffering, and you're not able to see the child and you're feeling, oh, so much of pain. You're feeling that child's pain, but actually you're not feeling the pain, but you're feeling the pain. So it is like this. Actually, we are not none of this pain is actually come to us. It's not to me, but because I'm just thinking that I'm this body, and because of that illusory association, close attachment to this body, that there's a feeling of that pain being transferred to me or me experiencing that pain. But actually that body itself is not experiencing pain. So which means that these are just sensations which are generated in the body, which give a sense of pain, which as Atma, I am taking it very seriously. So anyway, technically, if we go into this, it becomes very difficult to understand. So that is why I gave that example of I have to give class and I have a headache. Right. So when we engage in devotional service, we raise above the material realm. Then automatically we'll experience that, okay, this material misery is not experienced by me. It was just there, but I didn't experience that misery. Is that okay?
So that a question can be is that why this material would have to be created? The God would have made us realize this thing in the spiritual world itself.
Hey,
Because
how can it be in the spiritual world? The spiritual world has its own like environment, no atmosphere, which is only servants of Krishna, which is happy, engaged 24 hours in Krishna service, and there we are sitting in the middle saying that no, I don't want your service. Krishna doesn't want such people in his loka. He says, "Oh boss, तुम्हारे लिए तो अलग जगह है, वहां जाओ." He doesn't want such people there.
Yeah, but he wants to bring us back also.
Yeah, but he wants to fix us and bring us back. He doesn't want to keep rotten mangoes, right, with other mangoes. So he wants to put us in our position, right? And that position, we cannot come to our position being in the material, in the spiritual world. Being in the material world only after knowing all this, still we are not coming to our position.
No, but that's the question. Why not? See, if we will be in spiritual world, let's say, why don't we will get transformed? Because ultimately,
Are Baba, Prabhu, you answer this question. No, you are already in the spiritual world only. Why did you even think about leaving Krishna service? So if being in spiritual world did not prevent you from saying that I don't want Krishna service, how will it revive? How will it fix your problem? How will it become a solution? How will you get the medicine? You're already there in that environment only all along. And in that environment, which is where it cannot happen, you suddenly develop this. Now you're saying, okay, no, I was already here for zillions of years. Then I was servant of Krishna. Suddenly one day I decided I don't want to be servant. Now I'm expecting the same environment to fix me, in which I was already there all these years, but which didn't prevent me from developing that desire. So which means that something not okay, right?
But here also we are searching for association of devotees, isn't it? So why?
Yeah, so which is a good problem, right?
No, but the thing is that there anyways we had devotees.
Yeah, but you have punishment here, no, Baba. When will people come to devotees? People will come to devotees after zillions of lifetimes. After suffering. Punishment that is why I'm saying that is a reformation. If without punishment, see, we all came down from the spiritual world and as Brahma. If we really wanted least trouble path back home, we should have just from there only gone back. But we know, right, how when we want to fall, how we ensure that we fall. And this is our conditioning. So then from Brahma's position, we fell. Now we are rotting here. So I think we should understand saying that, one is, why all this. Second thing is when we have got till here, what we should do. That to me is a bigger question than thinking about, okay, could we have got reformed there? Yes, maybe Krishna didn't want us. That's his prerogative. We came here zillions of years, zillions of lifetimes. We've still not revived ourselves. Fortunately now and here and now, we know what the path is. We got the path, we got the association, we got everything. But are we really there? Why are we not taking it? We should answer this question, more important than anything else. We should answer this question, saying that why am I not taking it fully? I so clearly understand, saying that it's such a stupidity to have fallen from there, and that we got this rare opportunity now after so many Bhunam Janmanam Ante. Still, I'm not 100% taking it up. We should answer that. Still, I'm behind economic development. Still, I'm being behind material progress. So what can we say? That requires our focus and attention.
Prabhuji, just now what you said, Atma is spiritual and the body when it is dead, it won't feel the pain. So
no,
then,
Atma body is anyway dead, not when it is dead.
Anyway, it is dead. It's
body
not
is dead. Yeah, it doesn't have any pain.
Can we relate this to the time when Shushruta used to carry out open surgeries, like, when they were alive, like he used to carry.
Possible. Yes. Because at those times, people used to be so, spiritually also kind of more. So at least they were, I think, like Gnani's type, right? Like at least they had full awareness. Of course there used to be pain, but there used to be also a very high level of tolerance. Because generally people were in the know, saying that, I'm not this body, I'm spiritual. Okay, there's some sense of pain. First is, let me tolerate anyway, nothing's going to happen. Yeah, good point. Spiritually, they were more advanced than what we are now. Okay, so there are a lot of important points in the purport. So I'm going to go one by one. The living being is by constitution transcendental to material engagement, but he is now imprisoned by the external energy, and therefore he thinks himself one of the material powers. So we discussed this. And due to this unholy contact, the pure spiritual entity suffers material miseries under the modes of material nature. This also we discussed. The living entity misunderstands himself to be material product. This means that the present perverted way of thinking, feeling, and willing under material conditions is not natural for him. This is artificial. See, this also, just see how powerful this is, I mean, we've completely lost ourselves. We completely forgotten our identity. Just imagine how powerful Krishna's energy is. We've just forgotten ourselves. It's like, we've gone crazy. We've gone mad. Right? And we are now saying, like, there's somebody who's walking on the street and saying, I am the prime minister of this country. He just gone crazy, right? I mean, he just doesn't even know who he is. So this energy is so powerful that we are actually thinking that I am this body and everything connected to this body. So my thinking, feeling, willing, everything is connected just to this body. But he has his normal way of thinking, feeling, and willing. So Atma has a natural way of, normal way of thinking, feeling, willing. Spiritual mind, spiritual senses. Because the living entity in his original state is not without thinking, feeling, willing. Thinking, feeling, willing is the activity of the mind. So there is spiritual mind. There is Atma, then there is spiritual mind, there is spiritual intelligence, there is spiritual senses, there is spiritual identity. All of this exists, right? But we've just covered, we just willingly got ourselves covered by external energy, and we just forgotten ourselves. No, like really amazing. No, we should just mind-boggling Krishna's creation. The present conditional state is due to the influence of the external energy, which means that the illusory energy takes the initiative while the Lord is aloof. Supreme Lord is aloof, right? He's not mudasinavat. He's aloof, as in he's not connected with this material world. The Lord does not desire that a living being be illusioned by external energy. The external energy is aware of this fact. But still, she accepts a thankless task of keeping the forgotten soul under illusion by her bewildering influence. Thankless task, like I said. She doesn't like it herself because she's also Vaishnavi. She's a devotee. And she's thinking, oh my God, I'm putting other jivas into illusion. What kind of a seva is this? The Lord does not interfere with the task of the illusion energy because such performance of the illusion energy are also necessary for the reformation of the conditioned soul. So whatever questions we've asked, Prabhupada has answered. Also necessary for the reformation of the conditioned soul. An affectionate father does not like his children to be chastised by another agent, yet he puts his disobedient children under the custody of a severe man just to bring them to order. But the all affectionate Almighty Father at the same time desires relief for the conditioned soul, relief from the clutches of illusory energy. The king puts the disobedient citizens within the walls of the jail, but sometimes the king, desiring the prisoner's relief, personally goes there and pleads for reformation. And on his doing so, the prisoners are set free. Similarly, the Supreme Lord descends from his kingdom upon the kingdom of the illusory energy and personally gives relief in the form of Bhagavad Gita, wherein he personally suggests that although the ways of illusory energy are very stiff, Devi Esha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva Ye Prapadyante Maya Metam Taranti Te. One who surrenders unto the lotus feet of the Lord is set free. So beautiful purport this is. The surrendering process is the remedial measure for getting relief from the bewildering base of the illusory energy. So we have to surrender to Krishna. Sarva dharman parityajya. Mamekam sharanam braja. Not material dharma, not material artha, not material kama, not sayujya mukti, not mukti. The remedial process is surrender to Krishna, giving up all this. The surrendering process is completed by the influence of association, the importance of Sangha. The Lord has suggested, therefore, that by the influence of the speeches of saintly persons who actually realize the Supreme Lord and who actually realize the Supreme, conditioned souls are engaged in His transcendental loving service. So when we heard from Prabhupada about devotional service, irrespective of where people were, whether there were even devotees around them or not, they started bhakti, they started chanting Hare Krishna, and they somehow contacted some temple, got a photo, started worshipping Krishna by the influence of association. They get a taste for hearing about the Lord, and by such hearing only are they gradually elevated to the platform of respect, devotion, and attachment for the Lord. So respect is Vaidhi Bhakti. Then attachment, raga. The whole thing is completed by the surrendering process. So the whole process, the remedial measure is to surrender. And surrender is completed by the influence of association. So we have to be in the association of those devotees who are surrendered, who will help us to surrender. Basically, first by the Guru and then by devotees. This means that the conditioned souls are being reclaimed by the Lord both ways, namely the process of punishment by the external energy of the Lord and by Himself as the spiritual master within and without. Within the heart of every living being, the Lord Himself as a super soul, Paramatma, becomes the spiritual master, Chaitya Guru. And from without, He becomes the spiritual master in the shape of scriptures, saints, and the initiator, spiritual master, even instructing spiritual master, Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru. And so the Lord, He gives us that helping us reclaim, helping us reform. So super powerful purport. So please read this purport 1.7.5 again. And like I said, there's so many things. Prabhupada has written a beautiful purport. Okay.
One question I had. So basically, the spiritual mind had its properties of thinking, feeling, and willing, and I think that is the free will which we talked about. So we misuse that free will in the spiritual world. So maybe one inference can be drawn that we were in a rebellion group. We did not appreciate the association of devotees even in spiritual world, and that might be the cause for us to go aloof, because otherwise in the association of devotees a jivatma is safe, right? Because
no, free will, no, independence is there for us. That independence is there. It's my decision whether I want to be there or want to be here. I might be like Chodaridas was with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he still fell. So we might be with the Supreme Lord, yet we might fall down because I want to fall down.
but that doesn't happen in association of devotees. Even
No. Why? So many devotees, disciples of Prabhupada fell and Prabhupada was there. So many devotees, I mean, even today we see, right? So many devotees just come into Krishna consciousness and then after some time they're gone. We don't know where they've gone. Fall down is very common phenomena. The craziest part is that we did that even in spiritual world. That is how crazy we are. Technically, it is possible because of our free will. No, but that spiritual mind, thinking, feeling, willing is slightly different in the sense that there are spiritual feelings for Krishna. Then there is thinking of, okay, I have to do this service. How do I do? All this is spiritual thinking, feeling. Oh, I want to do this service for Krishna. Spiritual feeling, thinking, willing. Free will is there. Generally, it is there. Irrespective whether we have material mind or spiritual mind. It's an aspect of the Atma. Because Atma is part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna is Purna Swarat. So that little independence is also there in the Atma. Yeah. Okay, anybody has any other questions? Okay. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha ananda koti vaishnavvrinda ki jai jagat guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.